We're in my living room now, and on my wall I have beautiful replica comics that are really astronomically priced if you get the original ones now. The first one I have is Action Comics #1, which came out in June 1938. Okay, and then about a year later, okay, in May 1939, Detective Comics #27 came out, and that introduced the Batman, the very first appearance of the Batman. Detective Comics 27, May 1939. Now let's go to my other wall and look at my Marvel Comics. My Marvel Comics. Well, the very first Marvel comic that introduced the superheroes, which changed the course of Mighty Rivers and changed Marvel forever, was the Fantastic Four, who didn't even have uniforms until Fantastic Four #3. But this is Fantastic Four #1, and that came out in November of 1961. Mr. Fantastic, Ben Grimm, The Thing, Johnny Storm, and his sister Sue Storm, which later Reed Richards would marry Mr. Fantastic. And then along came the Hulk. Okay, the Hulk came out in May of 1962. And if you look, the Hulk was gray at the beginning, okay, gray, and they didn't really like how that looked, so then they made him green. Okay, but at first he was gray. And then, look at this. In August of 62, two superheroes came along. The first one was the mighty Thor, who was a god of Asgard. And he came out, he made his appearance in Journey into Mystery, #83. Like I said, August of 62. And August of 62, a tremendous superhero was born. The Amazing Spider-Man, Peter Parker himself. And he made his very first appearance in Amazing Fantasy #15, which came out, as I said, in August of 62. And Spider-Man became so popular that the very next year, in March of 63, Spidey got his own magazine. He's got his own magazine now, and this is the cover of The Amazing Spider-Man #1. As you can see, it also features the Fantastic Four making a guest star appearance. Now we skip to this wall, and the next superhero to make his appearance was also in March of 1963, and that was Iron Man in Tales of Suspense #39, okay? And Iron Man, as you can see, was metallic looking, okay? And then he became golden, and then he became gold and red. But in the very first issues, he was just the color of iron, okay, like a silverish color. And then in September of 63, two tremendous superhero groups were born. The first one was the Avengers, okay, and as you could see, Iron Man has now become gold. You could see he came out, he was originally iron looking, metallic, and then he became gold, okay. But also in the Avengers was the mighty Thor on the right, the Incredible Hulk in the middle, Iron Man, and down at the bottom you could see Ant-Man and the Wasp, and eventually Ant-Man would become Giant Man. But also in September of 1963, another strange group of superheroes appeared in the Marvel Universe. They were called the X-Men, okay, with Professor X, and their very first supervillain was Magneto, a very evil foe. Then we have to skip ahead 1 year to April of 64. We had a very unique superhero that Marvel introduced. Daredevil, the man without fear. And he was unique because he was blind. And as you could see, his very first costume was totally different than the way it became, which was all red. And originally it was like red and yellow. Okay, and that was Daredevil. And that came out in April of 1964. And then another one of my most favorite comic books of all time, let me get the glare away, is this iconic issue of the Avengers, which is Avengers #4, in which Captain America returns. He was presumed dead in the 1940s when he fell into the ocean. But fortunately for him, Steve Rogers, he was frozen solid for all of those years. And like I said, in March of 1964, the Avengers found his frozen body in ice. and they thawed him out. And Captain America was born again. So that's why it says Captain America lives again. And he does join the Avengers. The Hulk leaves and Captain America joins. And as you can see, Ant-Man has become Giant Man. So those are my comics. I hope you enjoyed them. I enjoyed showing them to you.